Hello and welcome to another Pilates session. So before we crack on with the workout itself, a bit of a disclaimer really. Make sure you're fit and healthy to partake. If you regularly do Pilates, then fine, you're probably perfectly fine with this. But if you do have any health conditions, it's probably worth contacting your GP just to make sure it's safe to do so. So what we're going to do, only need a mat with this session. You can use a pillow or a block if you want for one element of the workout. So we're going to start off first of all lying down on a mat in our base position. So in this base position, feet want to be about hip width apart, legs bent just under 90 degrees, knees again hip width apart. And then to start off with our alignment, we're going to put our hands on our pelvis. We're just going to rock a pelvis forward and backwards, pushing the tailbone into the mat, creating that arch, that gap underneath the back and the mat. And then what we want to do is sort of slowly reduce that range of motion up until a point we get to that middle point, which is what we refer to as that neutral spine. Good. And then shoulder blades, if you just imagine just sliding your shoulder blades down towards the hips or feet, just making sure that your shoulders are away from your ears and kind of pushed in towards the mat a little bit. And then with the head and neck, you imagine just trying to elongate the neck, elongate the spine, just to keep that in a good position. Good. And then we want to think about our core. So if we start off with our pelvic floor, that kind of sheet of muscle that's around the pelvis area, we're going to imagine drawing that up to 10, 20, and then 30%, and just holding that 30. And then what we're then going to do is think about our kind of corset muscle, that transverse abdominis, trying to activate that core. So we're going to do the same again, thinking about pulling that belly button in, pulling the rib cage down from 10 to 20%, and then up to 30%. So both pelvic floor and core are engaged. Good. And then breathing, like we mentioned last time, breathing in through your nose, out through your mouth, try to breathe into the back of the rib cage, spanning the ribs out to the sides, and then exhaling through the mouth, keeping the belly in, making sure that the rib cage is pulled down, exhaling, driving that bottom part of the rib cage down, and avoiding the belly bulging. So imagine just scooping the abdominals. Good. And then so cracking on. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring our feet towards the edge of the mat. We're going to place our hands on the pelvis to keep our pelvis in a steady position. We're going to inhale to prepare. As we exhale, we're just going to drop our knees over to one side. Inhale up to the top, and then exhale over to the other side. Good. Making sure that pelvis stays where it is, just to stop it from moving. Good. One more on each side. Quite often you'll find that one side tighter than the other. That's quite normal, so but not ideal. So what we're going to do is going to bring feet and knees together. We're going to come up into a kind of T-shaped position with our arms. Again, shoulders away from your ears, belly button in, core engaged. And then what we're going to do is make sure that lower back is kind of flattened in towards the mat. We're going to inhale to prepare. As we turn or roll our knees and our hips off the floor, we can just turn our head in the opposite direction. Inhale as you hold, exhale as you use your core just to pull yourself back up, looking up towards the ceiling again. And then inhale, and then exhale over to the other side. Inhale as you hold it, and exhale as you use your core, pull the belly button in, draw it back up to the top. That's it, turn your head. Not like me, half your butt. And same again, exhale as you use your core. Inhale, and then exhale, turn your head, roll on knees to the opposite direction. That's it, and then use your core, draw it back up to the top. Good, placing your hands down to the side. What we're then going to do, I'm going to pick one leg up, then the other, coming into a tabletop position. If you can hold a neutral position with the spine, that's perfect, hold that. if you worried that you might come into extension, like so when we get that gap forming, I want you to try and think about imprinting the back or flattening that back completely down into the floor so you can't get your hand in between. Good. Yeah, that's kind of more of a safe zone. Neutral spine's kind of more efficient zone. So in this position, what we're going to do, keeping the head and shoulders on the floor, we're going to exhale to extend one leg out. Inhale as you draw it back in. Exhale. And inhale. If you want to advance this or make it easier, if the foot goes lower to the floor, it makes it a little bit more challenging. If you're struggling, point the leg straight up towards the sky and then bend as you draw it back in. Good, so a couple of versions, easy way to kind of alter the intensity. Good, all the while thinking about that pelvic floor and core, keeping them engaged to at least 30%. Good, and we've got a way where we can advance this a little bit more. So we can pull our head and shoulders off the floor, hands down to the side, doing the same again. And if you want to go a little bit further, what you can do is keep your head and shoulders off the floor, raise your arms overhead, and then repeat the same again. But making sure that your head and shoulders aren't coming down towards the floor, you've got to keep them up. You start finding you slowly come down, I want you to think about bringing your hands back down to the side again. So go for whichever version you'd like. Good. A few more. Good. And you're just circling your hands round towards the shin, keeping the head and shoulders off the floor. We're going to do the same again. We're going to exhale, extend our legs, reach our arms up overhead, coming into this kind of disc-shaped position. Circle our arms down, touching the shin. Same again, extend the legs, drawing it in there. Same again. If you want to make this a bit easier, legs straight up to the sky, circle your hands round, and if you're still struggling, just reduce that range of motion. It might be that you just hold that position there and just circle your arms round. If you want to make it a bit more challenging, again, the lower the feet go, the harder you'll find this. So going for 3 more. And the last one. Good. And from here, we're going to bring our hands behind our head, just supporting the weight of the head. Starting off nice and slow, we're going to extend one leg out. We're going to get the rotation from the torso, bring our elbow towards the knee. Inhale as we come back into center. Exhale over to the other side. Good. So hands are supporting the weight of the head. Should never feel like you're pulling it in. Pull your knees in, roll side to side if it feels comfortable. And then what we're going to do, same position, similar exercise, in fact same exercise, but just different tempo. So hands behind the head again, inhale to prepare. And what we're going to do is we're going to extend, twist in one breath. So inhale, extend, and then exhale, extend. So you're doubling that tempo really, making it a bit more challenging. Again, making sure the rotation's coming from the torso, keeping your elbows in peripheral vision. For 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and then the last one there, pull your knees in, roll side to side if it feels comfortable. Just massaging the low part of the back. And rotating the ankles as well if it feels nice. One way and then the other. That's it, and then dropping your feet down there. So this next one, again starting back into that base position that we were in earlier. So feet hip width apart, same again with the knees, legs bent just under 90 degrees. So with this one, I'm going to start off with our hands on the side. We're going to inhale to prepare. We're going to make sure the shoulders are taking the weight. We're going to inhale, and then as we exhale, we're going to start off from the pelvis, tucking the tailbone in, and then peeling one vertebrae off the mat, coming up to the top there, weight in the shoulders, never in the head and neck. Inhale at the top, and exhale as you slowly peel one vertebrae at a time back down, back into neutral. Inhale, same again, exhale, tuck the tailbone in, peeling one vertebrae from the base of the spine to the top, weight in the shoulders. Inhale at the top, exhale as you slowly come back down. Good, inhale and exhale. Think about this one. Exhale when you move, inhale when you hold. Good. And then with this next one, we're going to come to the top and we're just going to hold that position there. So in this position, really important our pelvis stays where it is. It shouldn't feel like it moves at all when we do this next exercise. So all we're literally going to do is almost march in the spot, so doing a bit of a bridge but balance. So we're going to inhale, and then we're going to exhale as we pick one leg up. Inhale as you slowly drop it back down under control. Same again, exhale as you come up. Keep that angle in the knee if you want. You can straighten it if you need to, if you prefer to. But the idea is what we want to concentrate on, what's happening at the pelvis. So it shouldn't feel that when you pick up your leg that you drop on one side. It should say remain exactly in the same position that was in when you lifted that leg. Good. A couple more of these. You start feeling like your pelvis is dropping. Bring both feet down. Again, fully engaged. Squeezing the glutes. Come up to the top, and then try it again. And then what we're going to do on this next one is we're going to start off with one leg pointing up towards the sky. We're going to inhale as we slowly drop, exhale as we fully extend, and then we're going to point the ankle towards us, drop it down towards the floor, point away, and then bring it back up. Flex, lower, pull it back up. So we're going for two of those, and we're going to drop again, and then do that bridge again on that single leg. Again, flex, lower, point, raise, flex, lower, point, raise. One more of those, dropping back down, exhale as you come up, good, flex, lower, point, raise, flex, lower, point and raise, good. And then slowly dropping that foot down, peeling that spine back down to the mat. Just take a moment to recover. Give your legs a bit of a shake out, and then same again, I'm going to peel that spine one vertebrae at a time back up to the top position, weight in the shoulders, and then same again, we're just going to slowly extend one leg or the opposite leg that we just worked, pointing up towards the sky. So same again, we're going to inhale as we slowly lower, and then exhale straight up, and then we're going to flex our ankle towards us. We're going to slowly lower, we're going to point the ankle, come up to the top, flex, lower, point, raise. Same again, inhale as you come down, exhale as you come straight up to the top, flex, lower, point, raise, flex, lower, point, and then raise. Good, same again, last one. Down, fully extend at the top, flex, lower the leg, point, and then raise. Good. That's it. And then just slowly bring that leg back down, and then coming back down under control. Good. So the next one, what we're going to do is going to roll over. We're going to come onto our front. So with this one, if you would like, you can use a block. If you prefer, the same sort of thing that you can use is use a pillow if it feels comfortable, but would essentially just resting the forehead on the block or pillow. So in this position, we're going to start off resting the head on that block. We're going to make sure our feet are about hip width apart, and we're just going to think about almost like we've got some hot coals underneath our belly. And so what we're trying to do is, again, what we did earlier, just pulling the belly button and thinking about that corset muscle working. And we want to think about pushing that pubic bone in towards the mat. It just helps to keep us in a better position, stopping us from hyperextending that lower part of the back. Good. So in this position, what we're going to be doing is a T-raise. So we're going to start off with our hands out to the sides, directly out to the sides, roll the shoulders back and down, keeping them away from the ears. And then we want to have contact with the floor throughout with our feet. And then we're going to inhale to prepare. We're going to exhale as we raise our hands up towards the sky, and then we raise our torso. So the bottom of the rib cage should be in contact with the mat still. Inhale at the top, exhale as we come back down. Same again, inhale to prepare, exhale, raise our head up, raise our hands, then head, chest, up to the sky, reach your hands as high as you can, inhale, and slowly exhale as you come back down. And just keeping that gaze looking in towards the mat. Try not to hyperextend the neck. Good. Slowly lower. We can increase the pace on this one a little bit now, if we want. So we can inhale as we lower, and exhale as we raise. So again, just increasing that tempo. That's it, and one more. Good. And just making sure you've got a bit of room to reach overhead. So what we're going to do next is what I like to call a kind of prone snow angel. So as if you're doing snow angels on your back, we'll do it in a prone position, which is the position that we're in now. So just resting your head on that block again. What we're going to do is bring the feet together. We're going to bring your hands down to the side. We're going to inhale and then exhale as we raise our feet, legs coming off the floor, and then reaching our hands up towards the sky and actually down towards our feet as well. So in this position, we're going to inhale to prepare. We're going to exhale as we extend our legs out to the side, reach our arms overhead, and then draw it back in. Good. With this one, breathing pattern, any way you kind of prefer really. You can inhale as you reach your arms overhead, or inhale as you bring your arms down to the side. Again, just make sure you've got that gaze looking in towards the floor. Your bottom or your lower rib cage should still have contact with the floor, so it shouldn't feel like you're really hyperextending that lower part of the back. Just as you bring your arms overhead, try and keep that height. Try not to let yourself drop down as you do that. So going for two more. Good. Arms down to the side. Take a moment to recover. Not an easy one. Quite good for posture though. And so what we're going to do is push ourselves up. Nice relaxing one. So we're going to bring our legs a little bit wider towards the edge of the mat, feet together, just sitting back onto our heels. Just take a moment to recover there. Quite a nice relaxing one, this one. If you want, you can take the pressure out of the arms, just dropping them down to the side. Good. And then we're going to come up, bring your feet or knees just underneath the hips again. We can move that block out of the way now. So this one, we're going to slowly walk our hands forwards. Keep going, trying to get to a point where we can rest our head on that mat. Hold that point there. So with this one, our knees still want to remain underneath our hips.
We shouldn't be far back like we were earlier. We shouldn't be too far forward. Just over the hips just over the knees. Hold that position there. And try and get that sternum down towards the floor. Great one for increasing thoracic extension. Good. So we're going to get a bit of rotation in this one as well now. So we're going to bring one hand, we're just going to feed underneath, and we're just going to rest our head and our shoulders on the floor. Good. Hold that point there. Good. And then feeding around, back underneath, back into that same position we started in a moment ago. And the next one is just feeding the other arm underneath. Again, look in the opposite direction. Resting the head and shoulder on the mat. So, still remembering the fact that we want to keep our pelvic floor and core engaged as best you can. Think about that Pilates breathing. So where you're breathing into the back of the rib cage, expanding the ribs out to the side. Good. And then we're just going to bring our hand back through. We're going to come up into a 4-point kneeling position. Hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. We're just going to curl our toes under. In this position, we're just going to hover the knees, and we're going to push our hips up towards the sky, high as they can go, pushing yourself away with the arms, shoulders pushing up, pushing that hip up. And then what you're going to do there is you're just going to slowly drop the heels, try and extend that knee, trying to keep your back nice and flat as best you can. Good. And then we're just going to pedal the legs out there if it feels comfortable. And then from there, walking your hands forward into a high plank, hold that position there. Body wants to be nice and straight from the ankles, hips to the shoulders, keeping that kind of neutral position in the spine. If you're struggling, try and think about hollowing out, tuck the tailbone in slightly, but the position you don't want to be in is that position there. We're just resting on the structures of the spine. We want that core, all the musculature to kind of work and take over. Holding this. Another 10 seconds. 3, 2, 1. And then what we're going to do is we're going to bring one knee up. We're going to get it under as high as you can. Get to a point where that knee is just underneath the shoulder. And with the ankle, although you can't really see, it wants to be underneath my kind of right hip. So we're getting a bit of an angle going. And then what we're going to do there is we're going to slowly bring our elbows down to the mat. If you can, try and reach that rear foot further back. Allows you to kind of sink lower in towards the floor. And then what you can do is fold your hands under, rest your head on your hands. Good. Nice little stretch for the glute there. And if you want to progress this, what you can do is reach the hands forward and then bring the head all the way to the mat. Good. Imagine just sinking in towards the floor. And then once you're ready, come onto your elbows, onto your hands, curl that rear toe under, and then come back into that high plank or press-up position, whichever one you want to call it. And then same again with the other side, you're going to pull that knee in. Again, knee wants to be roughly underneath that shoulder, that right shoulder, or whichever leg you're using. And then for me, my right leg, my right ankle is just underneath that left hip. And same again, what I'm going to do is slowly lower down towards my elbows. With that rear foot, try and reach it back. It allows you to sink into the floor a little bit more, increase that stretch slightly. And again, you can fold your hands over, rest your head on your hands there. Good, just concentrate on your breathing now. Coming close to the end of the session. And if you want, you can again extend your arms overhead, reaching or resting your head onto the mat. That's it, just try and relax, concentrate on your breathing, sinking into the floor. So none of this should be painful. If it is, just regress it, come back onto your elbows or maybe onto your hands. Good. And then once you're ready, slowly come onto your elbows, onto your hands, curl that toe under, and then what you're going to do is come into a sitting position that you find comfortable. So that's it for today. Hope you've enjoyed it. Let me know what you thought of the session. Either put it in the comments underneath. If you want to see more sessions like this, just put the note or tick the little notification or subscribe to the YouTube channel, and hopefully you'll get notifications of when the next session will be. So great, thanks.